Yo, Bo. Oh, this Flyers game isn't going very well tonight. I have the game on the TV here. 3-0 Tampa. They always struggle against Tampa's a very good team. I get that, but they always struggle against Tampa. And so they were doing pretty good this season, and this weekend kind of happened, and you lose both games. I was at the game with Mark M. Shout Mark M. We were there on Saturday, and that didn't go well against Colorado, and then they lost to Ottawa. As bad as Ottawa is, they always give the Flyers fits for whatever reason. So is what it is, and now Tampa. Yeah. And then we got word today that Carter Hart's going to be out indefinitely for personal reasons. So, man, I hate to say the season's going in the other direction, but I'm starting to get that. I'm getting that feeling. Things are starting to turn for the worse. But again, I mean, look, I've told this to people. I said, this is a gravy year. Yes, I want to see the team do well. I'm glad they have the new powers that be in the front office. I think so far it's been a home run. But, yeah, I mean, they're playing pretty good, and maybe they were playing a bit over their head. But, I mean, you kind of, you get used to seeing them play good, and then all of a sudden, now they're starting to do the things that they were doing in the past, however many years, right? Can't stop the other team on the power play. Too many odd man rushes, just not enough, scoring. We still can't score on the power play. It's like the Flyers score on the other team's power play more than we score on our own. So I don't know how that's ever going to change, but they need to do something about that one of these years. But you do need better snipers. You need better goal scorers. And I think they have a couple guys, but for the most part, it's it's goal scoring by committee, which isn't the most terrible thing. Listen, teams have success with having multiple different goal scorers, right? It's not to say, the team with the great goal scorers always just win every year, but it helps to have that. And I think Konechny's a pretty good goal scorer. He's going to have another 30 goal score season, but you need more. So hopefully this offseason, they can start to do that. So. But it's good to see, hey, I mean, regardless of how this season ends, I mean, this is the gravy year for me. I really didn't have any expectations going in. I wanted to see better play, and we've seen that for the most part. We've hit a little bit of a bump in the road right now, but, hopefully they can correct it and, start to get back into winning ways. But speaking of winning ways, oh my goodness, what a performance last night by Joel Embiid, 70 points against the Spurs, and that was quite a performance. There's going to be games that come along in the long regular seasons that we have for some of these sports, right? And they just stand out, and that one definitely stood out. I was looking forward to that game last night because I did want to see the Embiid-Wemby first time ever, matchup. Of course, Wemby. The very good young rookie they have in San Antonio, and Embiid, of course, the elder statesman now for the Sixers, and it was quite a matchup. Wemby made some pretty nice moves and shots, but Embiid it got to a point in the game where you almost kind of feel bad for the Spurs because no matter what they tried to do defensively, you're going to have games where your superstars are going to just show why they're at another level, and it's just Embiid was just on last night. And listen, I know I've been critical of this team during the playoffs, and look, the second round bugaboo. God, I really hope this is the year we get out of the second round. Oh my God, it would feel like a championship to me just to get out of the second round. I mean, that's how bad it's been. It's gonna be just what do we have to do? But I like how they're playing now. I think that they have a very good nucleus, and they have a lot of very good role players. And that's something I think that's a little different than other years. I think the role players have certainly stepped up. I like the coaching of Nick Nurse. He won a championship with Toronto, so we'll see. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I mean, it is what it is. We know what we have to do, which we haven't done in a very, very, very long time since Iverson was with the team. But performances like last night, you do appreciate, and it's even better when it's one of your players that's doing it. Because look, I mean, watching that game is just a joy to watch, and seeing how he's doing his thing, making these shots, and it was really something else. It was a virtuoso performance by a league MVP, and I was very happy to have watched that game. I wish I was there. I wasn't. I was sitting here on the recliner, as I watched most of the games, but it was a great game, and it's nice to be treated to games like that every now and then because, listen, we know I wear the emotions on my sleeve, and you go through tough years of other teams and the disappointments and the playoff losses and the all this stuff that's been going on, right? But then you have something like that on a January night, and you're just not expecting anything. Like I said, I was interested in the matchup, between him and Wemby, and he goes off for 70. And then I was getting a little annoyed because Cat was going off in Minnesota. I'm like, no, I don't want another guy getting 70 tonight. It's Embiid's night. So I don't have the NBA, package or whatever. Whatever it is, so that game wasn't on TV. I did have the NBA Network on because they kept kind of cutting into it. But what I did, I just had I had my phone in my hand, and I was like on ESPN, the app. I had the Timberwolves Hornets box score because it kept refreshing. It had the play-by-play going. And so it's like, okay, he's up to 60 points. Okay, he's up to 62. Okay, all right, but there's only so much time left. As long as this game doesn't go to overtime, Embiid 70 will still hold up. And sure enough, and they lost to the Hornets. Oh my goodness! At least, I mean, we beat the Spurs. Man, I mean, Cat goes for 62 and a loss to the Hornets. Oh my! And I heard there was maybe some infighting after that game. So there might not be such great times going on in Minnesota land right now for the Timberwolves, even though they're having such a great start to the season. But it was a great performance by Embiid, and it's just so odd that someone else scored 60 plus last night too. It was one of those nights. But 70 points, that's just crazy, And I remember when Kobe got his 81. Obviously, I wasn't around for Wilt's 100, but as a Philadelphia Warrior. But I was happy to watch that last night. I remember when Iverson got his 60. In fact, I remember I was coming home. I forget where I was coming home from. It was either college or out from a store or something. I was in the car with my mom. That's what I remember. And we were coming home, and the game was on the radio in the car when Iverson scored his, and I believe it was against Orlando. He got his 60-point game, and that was like an incredible thing, then. And and now, or whatever, 59. I forget the exact number, but he had a pretty big number, scoring number, Iverson. And then Embiid goes off for 70 last night, and that's just, it's almost unheard of, 70 points in a game. And it wasn't like he was shooting a lot of threes. He took 2 threes. He made one and missed one. It's just all inside, jump shots, it was one of those nights where I guess the basket's like an ocean, and you just have to put the ball in it, It's just, it was one of those nights. I mean, they tried triple teaming him one time. It was almost like Godzilla going through Tokyo. It was just, he had the ball, and he had these 3, Wemby wasn't on the court at the time. He had these 3 Spurs, like swiping at the ball. It was like a helpless feeling. And he just puts up this shot that goes in. And that's how you know it's your night, when you're making shots like that. That was pretty crazy. I was just sitting there laughing, watching that. I'm like, oh my goodness, 3 guys. They tried the triple team. And the look on their faces after that shot was like, oh, what do we got to do? But that was that was great. That was great to watch. And as much as I still hope they get out of the second round this year, I mean, do have to appreciate games like that. I know there was some talk on the radio today, sports talk about, well, you got to appreciate it, right? Because yeah, I know that disappointments that we go through in the playoffs, losing in the second round every year, or what have you, disappointments with some other players who aren't here anymore that should have been better than they were, as a Sixer, but and in some cases had their best perform at their best years as Sixers, but still didn't come through in the clutch as they could have. But we know I've already been down that road quite a few times, so we know. Um, but it is great, when you have a player in a team that you root for go off for a game like that last night. You do marvel at it and you appreciate it, because we do. We go through a lot of losses in the playoffs, and they never get easy, to go through. And I've always said I'm one of those that wears the emotion on the sleeve. I mean, I do. I mean, I'm sitting in a freaking man cave here. I have an Eagles car outside. I have more than enough Philadelphia sports paraphernalia, clothing, jerseys, as we all know, hats, as we all know. It's part of me. This is part of my life, and maybe to a fault, and maybe I get a little too crazed at times, but, fan is short for fanatic, and that's just how it is. I know when I do my Season of the Fan series, I'm going to have opinions. And, that's just, after every game, you're going to feel a certain way depending on how the game went. That's just the reality of the situation, Sometimes I'm my opinion might not, it might not jive with everybody, and I'm not trying to. I do what I do here on YouTube. I've done it for many years because I have a passion for doing it. I love doing it. I mean, this channel, the main focus will always be sports, right? It will always be sports-centric. Mainly about the jerseys and hats. But we're going to throw in the Philadelphia sports from time to time too, certainly during football season with the Eagles. With the Season of the Fan series. That's always going to be a staple. It's something I enjoy doing. There may have been times I've missed a week here and there. It is. It is hard to make it. You might not think it is, but it is. Sometimes it's hard to come on and make that video every week and try to break things down. I mean, obviously I don't work for ESPN or NFL Network or anything like that, nor should I. Let the experts do that. I'm just a fan trying to break things down the best I can. And, are mistakes made? Do I say things that maybe, out of a passion or out of fandom that maybe, could have been said differently or thought differently? Yeah, but that's all emotion, that's just going to be what it is. Feelings are going to be what they are throughout the course of a season. You're going to be up when you're great, when teams are winning. When you're losing, you're gonna you're not going to be at the same level you're going to be when we were 10-1. There's no way to do that. So I'm going to have my opinion, and I'll stick behind my opinion. After the season was I felt Sirianni should have been relieved of his duties as head coach. Now, obviously, we've gone forward, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen, and that's their prerogative. I would rather it be the other way around, but can I sit here today in January 23rd of 2024 and tell you that, well, when the Eagles start their season next year, I'm going to boycott because Sirianni's still here? No, I mean, I'm going to hope for the best. I'm going to hope, hey, look, I don't agree with it, but if they win, if they have success, okay. I mean, that's all I want as a fan. I want my teams to have success, whether it's the Eagles, the Flyers, the Sixers, or the Phillies. And particularly, the Eagles was my first love here. That's, that they'll always kind of have that they'll always have that pedestal, But the Phillies I've invested into. I mean, I'm a partial season ticket holder. I go to a lot of games. I see it as an investment with a team. I've never done that with any other. I've never done that with the Eagles. Partially because it's very hard to get season tickets for the Eagles. Secondly, because of the cost. The Phillies just made it affordable, so I was able to do that. I love the plan. I love where I sit. I think I have a great seat. the team has had some success, obviously going to a World Series and, losing, but they got there. And then to the, NLCS last year, should have won. But, and I'll take it to my grave that they no way should have brought Kimbrel in Game 4. If they don't do that, they win the series. I will always say that. But it is what it is. In sports, that's what it is. We can't control what happens. But as fans, we're always going to have our opinion for right or wrong how these things play out, because and if it's right or wrong, we feel like we have an investment with this, right? That these teams are part of us, that they're part of the family, right? They're part of the fabric of where we live, whether it's here in Philly or Minnesota or Boston or the Bay Area, right? Or Texas or what have you. You connect with those teams because that's what you have. That, and people do it different ways. There are people who aren't as fanatical. They're more kind of laid back with it. And then there's people like me that seem to live and die on every pitch and goal and basket and touchdown, right? But that's me. I can't be anything else, It's probably why I'm still single. And that's okay with me. And I say this because I've gotten called out. I've gotten called out a few times, and it's like, well, I'm going to be me. If it doesn't jive with everyone, I can't please everybody. But I make my videos because this is my opinion. This is what I do. Whether it's the Season of the Fan series, whether it's the In the Life series, whether it's showing jerseys and hats and talking about that. I mean, there are things that I do as a collector that a lot of, some other people in the community might not agree with. I've been called on it for the swingman jerseys. Like, oh, why do you get swingman jerseys? Because I do. I mean, I'm looking at a rack of Authentics right over here. I have Z-bottom racks full of Authentic jerseys. I do have swingman jerseys too because they're affordable. I get them. I've never had an issue. People have issues, I guess, with the quality, the numbers peeling off or whatever. I've never had that. I know Nostalgia Boy told me while I was at Slim's, well, that's because you don't wear them. I'm like, I wear them. I just, you have so many. I mean, of course. I mean, I do see the issues with them. But at the same time, if it's there, if it's available, it's a jersey. At the end of the day, it's a jersey, and I'm a jersey head. I'm a jersey collector. Now, am I going to just go in every jersey now it's just going to be swingmans? No, I get enough Authentics. And I still will get Authentics. And Authentics, I have more of than swingman jerseys. But there's going to be times where I get the swingmans, like for the City Edition stuff. Excuse me. Dinner's starting to come back. Talk back at me. There are times that, the swingman, jerseys will happen. But there's also going to be plenty of times where Authentics happen. And I say this to say, I say that to say this. One of the things I've noticed, and I did notice it with the City Connect jerseys, and now they're making it more of a mainstream thing, which I'm actually for. And I'm for this because of the price of the Authentics is just way ridiculous with baseball. Nike, what they've done with baseball for the Authentics, it's terrible. The price. The jersey itself is still a pretty solid jersey. Now, there's still a lot of aspects to it that still is pretty much like how Majestic did them. Nike really still hasn't sunk their teeth completely into like remaking the jersey or whatever, to what they want to do. And I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know if it's this season, next season. I have no idea. The basic make of the jersey, like if you see an authentic Nike jersey for baseball and you compare it to the Majestic jersey, the last year of Majestic, it's basically the same jersey. There might be a few extra air vents in it, or something. There might be a little something different with the way the numbers or whatever, but it's the same jersey. It's basically the same kind of shell. The jersey itself has the same exact kind of feel to a Majestic jersey, right? But the price went up instrumentally for these jerseys. I mean, these jerseys, and I forget the exact price for the Majestics, but I want to say they were still under 300 at the time when they moved to Nike. Nike took them, and now you're getting $400 prices, and that's just ridiculous for a jersey that really hasn't changed that much over the span of time, besides the swoosh coming onto the front, and maybe a little extra air vent here and there. But it's not a an over $100 or close to $200 difference in the jersey. So the replica line, which are considerably less, but you're not getting all the bells and whistles, right? So for a while, with the replica jerseys, like a team that had a logo or something on the sleeve, the replica jersey would not have the logo on the sleeve, right? It would just have the name and number on the back and the team name on the front. That was it. They didn't do anything else. There was nothing else different about it. When the City Connect jerseys started coming out, I noticed that they did. If the team had something on the sleeve or something, they would put it on the jersey, right? The replica jersey, and of course the authentics were over $400. But the replica ones would have the same stuff, right? And that's why I would just stick to the replica, because I'm like, well, I mean, I know the authentics probably better material, the look of it, the feel of it, it is. But the replica, if I put both of them like that, I'm not going to tell a difference. Because the bells and whistles are still on the replica jersey. It has the patch on the sleeve. It has whatever else it's supposed to have. It's just the material's different, right? And obviously it's heat pressed and whatever with the name and numbers, and it is what it is, right? The patches and everything. You're not going to get the stitching and everything like you would get on authentic. But the price point is just, I could not see why I would pay the higher price for an authentic for those when I can get almost the same look of a jersey with the replica. So now what they've done, and I believe this is the first season, all jerseys are going to be like that in the replica line. And I forget the exact name they're calling them. But so if your team has some sort of logo on the sleeve, it's on the replica jersey now too. And the teams that have numbers on the front of their jerseys, it's on the front of the jerseys. That's another little thing, right? And I think the City Connects did that too for the replica lines. That's different than how it used to be. And I don't think the price has jumped up that much for replicas. They may have jumped up a little bit, but not much. So now that's going to be an option, right? Now, what does that do for authentics? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people are going to see that and say, oh, that means they're probably going to, reduce the authentics. And if they do, that's what they do. I'm not a fan of those prices. I mean, I can't really see why $400 and up for some of these jerseys makes no sense to me. And I've been very staunch on that. I don't like their prices for jerseys. I like their prices even though I don't get them very much, but I like their price. This is the same company, and I like their prices for the NBA authentics. I think those are fair. Football authentics, I mean, what are they now? 3 1/4, 350. It just depends on the jersey. Yeah, it's not really my cup of tea. It's not for football, but I have an AJ Brown, Kelly Green sitting over there. It's a beautiful jersey. I love it. The fit is great. The look of it's awesome. I have an authentic Jalen Hurts. I like those jerseys. Are they really for me? Am I going to just get all? No, because the sleeves are still. There's just the way they're cut and all. That's just. I rather just how replica sleeves fit, which is like this T-shirt, right? I kind of like this instead of that. It goes up a bit, and I don't know. That's still. I still have to get used to that. The cut of the authentics, that athletic cut or whatever they are, right? But for baseball, it's basically the same thing. Baseball, I mean, you get an authentic, you get a replica, the sleeves are going to be how they fit, and that's how they wear them in baseball, right? So that you're not really looking at anything different there. But the price for the authentic baseball jerseys is just another power play goal for Tampa. We can never stop them on the power play. And the Flyers have a good penalty kill this year. And they just got back in the game. It was 3-2, and now it's 4-2. Let me guess. Point scored again. He always scored again. Oh, no. Someone else. Amisimont scored, I think. Yeah, Point, Stamkos, and Kucherov usually always score against the Flyers. And Kucherov already has like 2. Point has a goal, like not surprisingly. I mean, Stamkos, there's still game to go, so it's only a matter of time. This is my in-game reaction, see? Easymont, yeah. His 8th. Just can't stop him on the power play. So stop taking damn penalties. Anyhow, baseball jerseys. So that's what I've noticed. Now, when I'm on Fanatics, and I check there a lot, every day, I've seen these replica baseball jerseys, and they all have the numbers on the front, for teams that wear the numbers on the front, and the patches are all there. And I think I actually started seeing some of this last year. It wasn't every team, but I almost want to say like the Mariners, I think, because they have the Compass logo on the sleeve. And I remember seeing some replica jerseys with the Compass logo. And I didn't know if it would actually come with it or not, Like, if you got a Rodriguez or something, I didn't know if it would come with it. So I'm like, I do kind of want... And I got the City Connect for him last year because I really like that Mariners City Connect. But I would imagine that, they may have started it with certain teams last year. It wasn't all teams, but maybe certain teams. And I know for sure all the City Connects, they since the beginning of City Connect jerseys for the replicas, they've all had whatever is on the sleeve, the numbers on the front, like the different things. Usually you wouldn't see on the replica jerseys, but they would have them. And even in some cases for the champs, the gold trim champ jerseys, because I did get the Mookie Betts I got was the authentic, because there was a sale for that. But then the next year I got the Ronald Acuna Jr., the replica one, and it had the patch on the sleeve. The Braves don't have numbers on the front of their jerseys, so I didn't have to worry about that. But they did have the champion patch on the sleeve in gold trim, and of course the name and number on the back, and the Braves logo on the front in the gold trim. So, I didn't get Houston because they beat the Phillies. So, I guess I would have to get the Rangers, right? So at some point, maybe that might be on the old list, but we'll see. Because that's still fun for me. Like it is one of those things I wanted to start doing. And I was doing, and then we lost to Houston, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing it this year, out of spite. But yeah, I guess the other Texas team winning, I guess that would be okay. So, and they did beat the team that beat us. So even though if the Phillies got there, it would have been a much better World Series than the frickin' Diamondbacks getting in there and getting their asses handed to them in the World Series. They used it all up against us. But no, I've noticed that, and it's in a way a bit exciting because if I can get a jersey that has a similar look to an authentic, and I'm not paying the authentic price, I mean, I dig that. I'll be all right with that, particularly with baseball, because I love getting baseball stuff. And the authentic prices just do not work with me. They just, even with the paying for it, just doesn't make a lot of sense. I get a little discount at the ballpark for being a ticket holder. So I've gotten a few there, but even then, it's like, and I know this year the Phillies are going to do their City Connect jersey. The Phillies do have the authentic stand, and you can get authentic team issue or game worn jerseys cheaper than the retail authentics there. And I've never thought in these terms, but people have said they get jerseys from wherever these places. All the ballparks have them, and they'll get like some scrub reliever, and they'll have it sent to Bill Henderson or whoever and turn into a current great superstar player or whatever, right? I kind of like to keep them as is, so, it is what it is. I have jerseys of, I have a Mickey Moniak spring training jersey, and he never really materialized here. He's now on the Angels, but the number is 78, and that's my birth year. That's my year, right? So that's part of the reason why I got it, and it was my size. So I have players that really didn't make much impact with the Phillies, but they're team issue jerseys. I mean, they're beautiful jerseys, authentics. So it could be. I mean, I will probably get the City Connect jersey. I don't know if it would be the authentic or the swingman. I mean the swingman, the replica version. I have no idea. I guess it's just going to be a game time decision for me on that. Because obviously the two jerseys probably aren't going to be much different look wise. So what I might do is just get a replica like Bryce Harper, and then at some point see if I can find like a whoever, some reliever or something at the the authentic stand and get that jersey as an authentic. The player doesn't really matter at that point. It's just I have an authentic in it. Okay, so here it is for Joe Schmo, some reliever who had a cup of coffee with the Phillies or whatever, but it's an authentic. It's a team issue, but we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. I definitely will get one for sure, and of course the hat. I mean, that just goes without saying. So for the Phillies, although I've heard what it might be, and I'm not overly excited because I think they're doing like a city flag kind of theme. And if you remember when the Eagles wore the Frankfurt Yellow Jacket, like it was their first jersey. When the Yellow Jackets became the Eagles, they still wore the canary yellow and the light blue jerseys. And they wore that as an anniversary, the 75th anniversary jersey, many years ago when they blew out the Lions at home. So but basically, so the colors of that jersey are the Philadelphia City colors. That's the flag that Philadelphia. If you ever see the Philadelphia City flag, it does have those colors. And so the Phillies might be wearing something somewhat not exact to what the Eagles did, but it might be something somewhat similar. And I'm like, oh boy, they're going to go with that approach, huh? I was hoping for something, I don't know. I mean, being a Phillies fan, I wanted something that just really, really just popped. It said Philadelphia. Like, you see the jersey, this is Philly. Like, it's something that just represented Philly in a very good way. The way some of these, the Sixers have done with some of their City Edition jerseys, the Spectrum jersey, just still my favorite. This year's one for the Reading Terminal Market, but it's Philly. Like, you see that jersey, that's Philly. To go with the city flag colors as your basic primary approach to the jersey, I haven't seen it. Maybe it's just hearsay. Maybe they're going to do something completely different, but that's not the approach I would have taken with that jersey because you just don't think about the city flag. I mean, it's not like I know some places are really about their flag. Like, you see their flag things everywhere. I don't really see that in Philly. We're not really, you don't have a lot of flag love for the city flag. It's not something that you really see everywhere, I know it's on City Hall and at the ballpark. I mean, there is a city flag. I mean, it's not really what I think of. It's not one of the first things I think of when I think of Philadelphia. It's not the flag, not the city colors, the flag. I would have gone somewhere completely different, but we'll see. Maybe they're not going to do it. Maybe it's just a rumor. I kind of hope. Maybe I'll love it. I have no idea. I have to see it when it comes out, and then I'll make my final judgment then. I mean, we all know. I mean, look, what am I? I'm not going to get it. I'm going to get it. We know. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get the hat. It is what it is. I get it. Anytime a Philly team wears something different, I go out and grab it. Like when the Flyers whenever they unveil their the jersey for the Stadium Series in the Meadowlands, I'll get that jersey. which I still don't know what it's going to be. I know last week in Rez's live he asked if what do you think? The Flyers usually don't think too far out of the box. Basically, their jersey is going to be their jersey. They don't change a lot. There's really not much that they're going to do. It's probably going to be orange or black. Those colors, it's always going to be. You're going to have the crest. The flying P is going to be on the front. Maybe some stripes somewhere. I can't imagine it's going to be this incredibly different thing. What I did say there, though, and I will repeat it, I would love to see the Flyers kind of dip into their history of the city of Philadelphia with hockey, and take a concept from one of those other teams that played in Philadelphia, as in different leagues. It wasn't the NHL, but different leagues. The Philadelphia Firebirds come to mind, the Philadelphia Blazers, the Philadelphia Quakers, which, ironically enough, when the Flyers hosted the Winter Classic many years ago against the Rangers at Citizens Bank Park, the initial jersey, that concept that got leaked out, was going to be a Quakers jersey. And instead of the scripted Quakers on the front, it had the scripted Flyers, and they had some black stripes on this. It was an all orange jersey, the black stripes. It was basically a homage to the old Philadelphia Quakers. And just Google it, you'll see it. And it got to the point that people thought that that's what they were going to wear so much that the first counterfeit, knockoff Flyer Winter Classic jerseys that year that came out was that jersey. Which was the jersey they didn't even wear. And then, of course, they wore the jersey that later became an alternate jersey, which I really liked. It's still one of my all-time favorite Flyer jerseys, because it was the jersey where they had the Keystone logo for the assistant captain or captain, alternate captain rather, or captain patches, the C and the A. Beautiful look. The jersey itself was very well done. It is my favorite of all of the different Stadium or Winter Classic jerseys that they've worn, and they've only won one of those games, which was against Pittsburgh some years ago, at the link. But that jersey from that year, that's my favorite one still to this day. And I have the Stadium Series version, and I have just a regular alternate version that they wore. It's the same jersey, it just doesn't have the patch on the shoulder for the Stadium. Or the Winter Classic. It was a Winter Classic. Because they do Winter Classic, and then they had the Stadium Series that comes later. And, of course, the Heritage Classic in Canada. So those are the outdoor games every year for the NHL. And the Flyers are in the Stadium Classic this year. There's 2 games. The Flyers are going to be playing New Jersey. And hopefully they're playing better than they are now. Otherwise, that's going to be another outdoor loss. That's... Like Mark M and I, we were complaining. We're like, stop putting the Flyers in outdoor games. We don't win them. And then we won that game against Pittsburgh in overtime at the link those years ago. Oh, we celebrated that. We had Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. We were so happy that we finally won an outdoor game. It was... And it was against Pittsburgh, too, so it just made it all even that much better. But it was like, oh, finally, we won one of these damn things. And then about a year or two later, they got blasted in Lake Tahoe against the Bruins. Yeah. But that game, they didn't wear special jerseys. It was when they had the reverse retro 1.0s, and I believe they wore those jerseys. The only difference was they put the patch. The Lake Tahoe, whatever year patch. But there was nothing else different about the jersey. It was just the 1.0. And I'm like, well, if they win this game, should I get the patch? And then, like, in the second period, it's like, yeah, there's no way we're going to win this game. So I'm like, all right, the heck with the patch. Because I was going to get the patch. If they would have won that game, I was going to because I had the Giroux. I was going to get the patch and have it put on the But no, that was an embarrassing game. That we're not going to remember that one. That's not memorable. That wasn't the Embiid 70-point game from last night. That was oh my goodness. So we'll see. It's another outdoor game. We'll see. Um, but anyway, I've ran and raved a while here for the Philly teams and me being the fan, but it's part of in the life. Most of the end of life is just going to be about the collecting aspects. But every now and then I might throw a fandom aspect, to kind of mix things up a little bit, because why not? It's part of my life and in the life, and that's what it is. But for the most part, it's going to be about collecting and the trials and tribulations that come with it. And we talked about that too, right, with the baseball jerseys. But I do like that. I like the fact that, now, again, not everyone might like this, but I like the fact that for the replica jerseys, they will have now the patches for the teams that wear their logo on the sleeve and the numbers on the front, if they have numbers on the front. And Phillies last year stopped doing this, but for their home and away set, they had the numbers on the sleeves, and then they took them off. I think my guess is they're thinking about some sort of ad sponsor on the sleeve at some point. I mean, at this point, it's almost like a necessary evil. All teams are doing it. The Phillies are probably going to do it. That's probably why they took the numbers off. Even for those wonderful powder blue jerseys, they took the Independence Hall logo off the sleeve last year. And they never had it. I think their thought was that they were going to have an ad sponsor last year, and it just never happened. But they took the numbers off the sleeves for the home pinstripes and the road grays, and they took the Independence Hall logo off of the powder blues. And that one I kind of wish they didn't, because I really like that logo. But so they did that, and of course they never had any kind of ad sponsor or anything. They didn't have anything on the sleeves at all last year. They were patchless last year and numberless on the sleeves. So I don't know. If they do anything this year with some sort of ad sponsor, we'll see. A lot of teams are doing it. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. I hope it's something cool, which would be nice. I've kind of gotten used to it. I know people don't like it. I guess I'm a bit indifferent. I mean, I've kind of gotten used to seeing it. Like for the NBA, I mean, at first there was this big, oh my God, how could they? Now it's like, you kind of used to it, I mean, the Sixers, obviously had StubHub for a while, and then went to crypto. They got crypto on there now, and you kind of get used to it, right? And in some cases, it's a little extra to a jersey. Like when I was getting the Steph Curry, every year of the city, I was getting it from their shop, so it had the Rakuten on there. And I've since haven't done that, and I think a couple of years, but it was like, yeah, I want that little Rakuten on there. Yeah, let's get that one. The cost is the same, so. But at any rate, so yeah, hockey's doing it. I think on their jerseys too. The Flyers only wear it on the home jersey. They don't wear it on the road, which is kind of interesting. But they only wear the ad sponsor when they play at home. And it actually started on the helmet. Like a lot of teams would wear the sponsor on the helmet. Now they wear it on the actual jersey. Yeah, again, it's one of those things I've kind of gotten used to seeing, so I'm not as thrown off by it. Now, if they start doing like a NASCAR jacket and doing nothing but ad sponsors everywhere, it's like that might be a little much. I know what the WNBA had jerseys. I don't know if they still do, but basically they were like soccer uniforms because you didn't even know who was playing because it would just be the ad sponsor on the jersey. And that was it. It didn't even have like the city name or the team name. It was like whatever their ad sponsor was, that was it. I'm not saying let's go there. Soccer does it though. I mean, soccer, they done this for years, right? The Union, it's Bimbo, right? Bimbo was their sponsor for quite a while. The bread company, I think it still is. And, people get used to that. And it's like you kind of identify the team with the ad sponsor in some ways, right? It's like it would look different if it didn't have that on there, It's like, ooh, what's that? So they actually use the jersey, like the actual, like that. Those ad sponsors are big across the front, and then you have the team logo, which is a little patch, circular patch over here, that shows what the team is. What the club is for soccer, and they do it over in international leagues, and of course here in the MLS they do it. So it is what it is. So I kind of got used to it. I guess you never quite get used to seeing it, but it's like, all right, well, again, if they don't do like a billboard, if they're not doing like a NASCAR jacket where there's just patches everywhere, I can deal with a little patch here or even a little something on the sleeve. It is what it is. If it just gets out of control, then yeah, that might be an issue. But you're seeing some of the all-time classic teams in the history of sports with ad sponsors now. It's just one of those things. But I do like the fact, and I know a long way around, but I do like the fact that the replica jerseys for baseball, that they're adding those different things. The team logos on the sleeves, the numbers on the front, just to give it a little more of a, authentic look. And, we'll see. And it makes sense if you think about it. Not to say that, it's going to be exactly the same, but even in like other leagues, right? The NBA, when you have the swingman jerseys, you're still going to have all the team, graphics and all in the front and the back. They might not be stitched, but it's still all on there, right? Now, there might be something missing here and there. If they do an anniversary thing or something, you might not have that on there. But the look of the jersey is the same. That, it has name, numbers, and the logos on the front, name and number on the back, right? The NBA logo. So it's the same, right? With football, kind of the same deal. Now, it's not stitched, but you're gonna have your number on the front. You're gonna have your team colors, whatever. You're gonna have the name and number on the back. Your logos on the sleeves, right? That's the same on the replica jersey as it is an authentic. The only difference is the replica is not going to be stitched. The authentic is going to be stitched. Same with hockey. Hockey's a little different, but hockey, yeah, you're going to have your logos, you're going to have your numbers, your names, everything on the jersey as it would be on authentic. It's not stitched. It's not done exactly the same way an authentic is, but you're still going to have that kind of, the look of it's still going to be pretty much what you're seeing on an authentic jersey, what they wear on the ice. Baseball was the one that didn't do it, though. Baseball was like, yeah, we're going to give you a jersey with the team name on the front, name and number on the back, and that's it. For a replica jersey, right? We're not going to give you the extras if they wear a patch on the sleeve. We're not going to give that. We're not going to, if they have numbers on the front, or in the Phillies' case, numbers on the sleeves. We're not going to do that, back then. It's just going to be a generic jersey with the team name on the front, same font and everything, but the team name and name and number of the player on the back. That was it. And that was how it was. So now at least I'm glad to see for those teams that do have the extras that I call them on jerseys for baseball, which has the team logo or such on the sleeve and the numbers on the front for teams that wear that on the front, that you'll have that opportunity to have jerseys like that in replica form as well. And again, there might be a lot of backlash about it. Some people say, well, if you do that for that, you're just going to get rid of all authentics. And, that's bad. That's bad for authentics or whatever. But again, the prices for authentics, I just think they're pricing people out. And I would hate to see the day where authentics leave, because I still think there's a place for them. I wish the price was better, but I like the way an authentic feels. I like the way an authentic is. But it's hard to say, okay, well, I'm going to pay $400 and in some cases up for this one jersey. It's hard. It's hard to justify that, when you have other options at some other stuff, or even authentic options that are cheaper by going in some cases to a different part of the ballpark and going to the game, the authentic stand, and get a team issue jersey for $200, let's say, instead of an authentic, a Harper jersey or whatever for $400. It doesn't make that the sense just isn't there. It's the same jersey, maybe a different name and number on the back, but you're getting the same jersey for a much cheaper price, and it's a team issue jersey, or in some cases a game worn. The Moniak I have is a game worn, and I didn't pay $400 for that jersey. So it is what it is. I mean, that's always going to be my take on MLB, Nike MLB. And some people, it might not bother them. They do the paying for whatever, maybe not even the paying for. They just got it like that. So it's a drop in the bucket. But for me, yeah, it's hard. And I paid a pretty penny for jerseys. I've done it. If it's a jersey, like a rare piece or something that I know something I really have to have, I'll go the extra, bucks for it. But for something that's just like a generic authentic that I know I can get, that might give me the second thoughts, and maybe I go maybe I go with a cheaper route in some of those cases for a replica because everything's still on it, and that at least gives me a chance to do that. At least for that. Anyhow, that's how I feel about that. If it makes any sense to people, I started noticing that recently. These jerseys are starting to hit fanatics now because the season's just around the corner. I mean, before you know it's going to be pitchers and catchers, and then it's going to be, full squads down in, for spring training. And then the season will be coming up soon. Just a little over, almost 2 months away now. So it's getting close. It's getting there. So they're starting to put out the stuff for 2024, the 2024 season. And it's cool. It's cool to see some of it. And I do wonder for the Phillies, because I know they have the clubhouse store and they make the jerseys there. I should say they make the customizations there. You can get, they have the blank jerseys. Not authentics, they're just replicas, but they have the replica jerseys, and you can get whatever name and number you want on the back. And I wonder if with this, at least for the powder blue, because the powder blue is the only Phillies jersey out of the whole set that they wear. And I know they did away with the red jerseys now because of the City editions coming in, or the City Connects coming in. So, but the powder blues are the only ones that have a number on the front. That's because that's how they wore it back in the 70s and 80s, so they still do. For the home and away set, the home red pinstripe, there's no number. There was never a number on the front. Same with the road gray. The number used to be there, but now they did away with it. So it is what it is, right? And for the cream, they never had a number on the front or on the sleeve. It's only on the back because those are the homage to the 40s or 50, Phillies, that jersey from back in the day. So that jersey didn't have anything on the sleeve, anything on the front. It just had Phillies across the front and the name and number on the back, right? So that's how that jersey is always going to be. But the powder blue one is the one that has the number on the front. So now I wonder if when you get this customized at the store, at the team store, are they going to put the number on the front now? Because now with replica jerseys, if it has something extra, right, they put it on the jersey. So I wonder if that's going to be an option. It wasn't to this point. Up till last season, this never was an option. But I wonder if it's going to start being an option now. And that's kind of cool to me because I get the swoosh thing. I understand the little swoosh on the front. But the cool thing about that is, you can kind of dig in the past a little bit. Maybe I can get a couple jerseys, some of the past players, in that form, because I get a little discount. And if they put the number on the front, I can get a player or so. But just where it would be a Nike version. It would have the swoosh. What it is. That's a little detail. But I can get a player that maybe Mitchell Ness never made, or whatever from the 80 team, and have that jersey in Nike form. But it's still pretty much the same jersey. The look of it's the same. Just has a little Nike swoosh on the front. But I can get that jersey maybe now, That might be an option. So I might ask them sometime if they're going to start putting the number on the front for those powder blue, because they're still going to wear them this year. So, that's going to be interesting. Or it could be a current player, too. It could be like a Zach Wheeler, 45 on the front. I know I got Tugger, but see, I can see myself rocking a powder blue Zach Wheeler. That's for sure. That big 45, big name on the back. Oh my, the powder blues. That might have to happen. And I do have a Schwarber in the powder blue. It doesn't have a 12 on the front, but it is what it is. Still a nice jersey. But I got that some years ago. But I am kind of interested, now more and more I think of it. Now I'm kind of, now you see the smoke coming out of the ears, right? The wheels are starting to move in there, and that's not always a good thing. The hamster's starting to go around in the wheel, and I would be very interested to know if that's what they're going to do now. If they're going to put the number on the front of those powder blues. Oh, boy. I can see all of you now. How many jerseys are you going to get? Anyhow, speaking of getting, and I know it's been 55 minutes of joy here, but I do have some hats here that I've gotten over the past few, maybe month or so. This is the one that if you remember the vehicle vlog from some time ago, me going and getting a little lost going on my way, but going to forgetting to make the turn at the Cherry Hill Mall. But this was the hat I went for. Here it is. You got that Mitchell and Ness, the Jason Duck, there it is. Good gray bottom. It's a fitted. I thought it was a snap, but it's a fitted. And it does have the inaugural on the side. And I also was wrong about the color of it. For some reason I thought it was purple. But yeah, it's teal, as you can see. So that's a nice hat there. Again, the reason I liked it is that I didn't see anything else or don't have anything else with the inaugural, on the side. So, that would definitely go with some jerseys. And then this one here, I'm not a big corduroy hat guy. I know that's a big thing, particularly in the wintertime. But this one really spoke to me when I first saw it when my buddies from California were over, when the Eagles got roasted by the Niners and started that bad stretch of football that never ended. But this hat I first saw then, and I liked it then. I just didn't get it. I thought I would go back for it at a later time. And then these disappeared from the shelves, at least here. I mean, I went back. I went looking for this, and there was only one. I didn't see one at Cherry Hill. I went to King of Prussia. There was one left, and it was in my size, thankfully. And then, of course, I go visit my buddy. We had that trip, Slim and I. I go back to Maryland last weekend, and we went to the weekend before, I believe, and we went to one of the local malls, and in the lids there they had a full run of this hat. So I'm like, well, if I didn't get it that day, I would have walked away with it at that lids. A full shelf, just full. A full thing of them. I'm like, yeah, they didn't run out there. But it was amazing to me. They had full runs, and I go back to get one, and there was one left, and I'm like, oh my goodness, these became popular apparently. So we got the corduroy Phillies, two-tone right there with my buddy on the front, the Fanatic, of course, and then you have the World Series logo with the dueling logo for the World Series, Batterman. Nice hat. I like this. And I'm not a big corduroy hat guy. I think this is now 2. I got that Blue Jays one when my buddies from California were here at the Cherry Hill Mall. And now I have this one. And, I've never been a big corduroy guy. Like, the feel has always been kind of weird to me. But it is a comfortable hat. I will say that. These are comfortable. And obviously for the winter, they're a little heavier material. So, You definitely. I can't wear this in the summer. Forget that. No way. First of all, it's a white crown, so that's not gonna happen in the summer. I will sweat through this thing profusely, and in the summer, oh no. Like we're touching, with the heat index or whatever. We're touching 100. No, that's not going to happen. And in this one, I grabbed while I was in Maryland at the Pro Image at that mall. And, I mean, you can never have too many Oriole hats, so here's another one. This is a Mitchell & Ness fitted. I liked it because it just has a lot going on. And this logo on the side, I have that on the sleeve of the Eddie Murray jersey. And, there's other Oriole jerseys out there with that particular logo on the sleeve. So, yeah, that's Combo Wombo right there. Green under. And I like this set that Mitchell & Ness did. These came out last year, and they all have various different logos or whatever going around the hat. And they all look pretty good. There's still a couple that I want to get. I don't know when, but we'll see. Maybe the Super Bowl sale, but we'll see. And in this one, shout out to Slim. He saw it first. It wasn't his size. It was the size that I could wear. So he sent me the auction. We were actually sitting at the Green Turtle watching Dallas get destroyed by Green Bay, and Slim decided to go hat looking on eBay, and he showed me this, and I'm like, ooh, because you don't see, for whatever reason, you don't see Saints hats with this logo on the side. You see their 30th anniversary, you see the 50th anniversary, but you don't see the 25th. And Mitchell & Ness made 2 jerseys with the 25th over the years. They made the Sam Mills, which I own, and they made the Morton Anderson, which I don't own. But I do have I have a Jackson. I have a Jackson with this logo on the front too. It's a vintage, jersey. So, but here's the hat. So Mitchell & Ness made this probably around the time they made the Anderson and the Sam Mills. This is an older run, hat. But there it is. And there's the logo. Look at that. It's a beautiful logo too. I don't understand why you don't have more Saints. And now of course there'll be like 50 of them. As soon as I say it, that's just how it always works. Look at that, though. You need that patch on more Saints hats, I'm telling you. The NFL logo on the back. Slim, thank you. I know this one didn't fit you. And I told you, he didn't think. He doubted. I told him, these older run hats. All right, today's standards, I don't think I could wear this. But the older ones, I can wear because they're a little bigger. They're a little bigger than, than they were back in the day. So see, oh no, don't make me get that Sam Mills right now. Oh, they're what they're watching right now would melt. That's too much good combo wombo. That's gonna come from this, but it's gonna happen though. This is the perfect hat for that Sam Mills. And if I had the Anderson, it would go with that too. But I do got that Jackson that this is gonna go with nicely. People are sleeping on this logo. I'm telling you, it's like that 76 All-Star logo for the Phillies. You never damn well see that logo. We have seen so many 96. The 96 All-Star game with the big Liberty Bell, it's a beautiful logo, I get it. It pops on a hat. Every time you see the side patch for a Phillies All-Star, it's the 96. But the 76, and probably the reason that I think it's not made as much, because it would take, you would have to go through some twill. Because there's a lot going on in that logo, but you got Veterans Stadium, you got a bell. It's a nice logo, man, and I've seen it on the side of a hat twice, and I have both hats. Twice, 2 Phillies hats. Now, again, I say that now, there'll be like 100 of them coming out. People get so tired of that logo. There was a day where MightyFan said he needs to see that more on the side of Phillies hats. I'd love to see that logo more on the side. And I wish I had the thing where I can put the block here and show the logo. This is a bare bone channel. This is what it's going to be. So there's no bells and whistles here. But you Google image, I should say, the 1976 MLB All-Star logo. You'll see it. It's a beautiful logo. It's just never on the side of a hat for the Phillies. It's been on 2 of them. A Just Don hat and a Lids hat from some years ago. I have both. And I want to see it on more Phillies hats. I really do. It's the little things in life. But I want to see that damn 76. Or even if you put the logo that was on the on the sleeve, that 76 that was on the sleeve of the Phillies jerseys that year. Even if you just want to do that, I've seen that, I think, a little bit too. And I do have, I want to say, at least a couple hats with that. But you don't see that a lot too. Like 76 always gets kind of ignored. For whatever reason, you have two really good options for patches. The sleeve patch from the Phillies that year and the All-Star Game patch, or logo, I should say. Neither of them you never hardly ever see on a Phillies hat, but we need to see more. I don't know what I have to do to make it happen. If Pancake's watching this, Pancake, make it happen. They seem to listen to you. You can make a really nice, Phillies hat too, like a really nice with the burgundy and the powder blue or something, and that big logo. I'll even get greedy. And say you put the All-Star logo on one side and that 76 sleeve patch on the other. Whoa. Now we're really getting into it, baby. If both of them were on the hat. I know people, you don't like the dueling patch, but oh, that would be a good look right there. That would be a good look. But you got to make sure, whoever does it has to make sure that 76, if they do that, the patch that's on the sleeve has to be on the same side that it's on the sleeve of that jersey. Because that way, then when you wear that hat, then you got that patch going on the same side as the sleeve. Whoo! Forget it then. It's all over. It is all over. There's a lot of times, and I understand the patch always goes on the other, like the sleeve patch is over here and the hat patch is over there. Boy, if you get them both going together. Oh my goodness, an hour and 6 minutes of joy. This is what this has been. I had a lot to say. I really did, man. When it comes to sports and jerseys and hats, you get me going. It's hard to hit that stop button, but I'm going to hit that stop button because I do have to load this onto YouTube and get this off my camera. So I'm going to, or off my phone, I should say. So I'm going to do that now. But thank you, as always, for all the support to the channel. And I'll be back again very soon. I still, there are things that I've been meaning to do for the channel, and I will get to that. And we'll have a lot of fun, because that's basically what this channel, for the most part is, right? We're gonna have fun, and there's going to be plenty of jersey and hat talk. There's going to be plenty of jerseys and hats to see. Like I said, I do still want to do that series where I'm showing a rack of video out of the collection to kind of go through the collection again for archival reasons. So I will get to that in earnest. Don't hold me to this. I'm hoping by the weekend, at least to start it. But if it doesn't happen, it will definitely happen within the next week or so. Because I know next weekend we do have that bye week between the Super Bowl and the championship Sunday and the Super Bowl. So worst comes to worst, at the latest it will start then. I'm hoping to start sooner, but we'll see. Other than that, there's obviously stuff coming up. We have we have the Super Bowl sale a few weeks at Mitchell & Ness. I have no idea what it's going to be. We'll see. It's just kind of a game time decision, I guess, for them year to year. But, that will be coming up. A couple things I'd like to find and add to the collection. I still want to get that St. Pat's Darren Dalton. And if I have to get that online, I'll get it online maybe as part of that deal. But we'll see. That's still something I want to grab. I'd still like to add the white Falcons Authentics that they made, Brett Favre and Dion, and then that creamsicle John Lynch. I'd like think of it. That's bad when you have to think of the name. The John Lynch authentic that they put out last year. Those are still on the hit list, so we'll see. Obviously, when it comes to the store, always it just depends on what they have in my size. So, but I'll definitely ask about those during the deal. Not to say with all certainty I'll grab them all, but just kind of know, okay, do they have them or not? And goodness, there's a couple. I mean, there's a couple other jerseys out there, but I don't know exactly how much I'll really dig both hands into. There are some other jerseys that they've made that I do have some interest in. Even some swingman jerseys. I know. Oh my. But that Vince Carter Sounds, that still has to happen, man. I still want that jersey. So maybe. There's some of the blue lines that I do like. Like I said, the Ducks. I want to get at least one of those Mighty Ducks one, whether it's Solani, whether it's Jaguar with the finals logo. We'll see. There's some others that I don't know if they have in store, that I know they're online. But the problem is when you're dealing with online for those sales, if it's a new release, it's not part of the sale. And the stuff that hits new release stays in new release for like umpteenth amount of time. So they might not be part of the Super Bowl sale. So, it is what it is. And again, it's okay. All right, well, we'll just have to reroute to something else. We just tie? No, we didn't tie. It's 4-3 Tampa with 7:23 to go. Just giving you an update on this game. But anyhow, there is stuff out there that I would like to get, as far as Mitchell and Ness. It just depends on what I can or can't move on, during that sale. Just one of those things. Kind of, you're kind of just, well, do they have it in the size in the store? If not, is it still part of their new releases online? And then you're kind of doing that song and dance, So it just kind of depends on what's available or what's available as part of the sale when it comes to the site. And it just depends on what I can do or can't do. I don't expect getting all of them. If I can walk away with maybe 2, I'll be happy. And we'll just have to wait and see a couple weeks, Obviously, it's championship weekend this weekend, championship Sunday. So, if you're a Niners or Lions, well, if you're a Lions, you've been waiting a long time for this, huh? Or if you're a Ravens, I know Slim kind of threw up in his mouth with that one, but if you're a Ravens or a Chiefs fan, my buddy Anthony from Pro Image is a big Chiefs fan. So good luck to your teams. I mean, obviously, I don't have a horse in the race right now. I'm just hoping for good games. That's really all I want to see the rest of the way. But, if you're a fan of one of the 4 teams left, good luck to you. And enjoy the games. And have fun with it, That's what sports is, I know I get caught up. I will always raise my hand with it. But at the end of the day, sports is supposed to be something fun. Kind of take your attention off of other things. But as we know, it is something easily to get wrapped up into. And Lord knows I do enough of that. So, but enjoy it. If you're a fan of one of the 4 teams left, good luck to your teams left in the race. And we'll see what happens. We'll see who the 2 teams are representing Super Bowl 58. In Las Vegas this Sunday. We'll have the answer to that, right? So, we'll see what happens there. And in 2 weeks, we'll have the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl sale at Mitchell & Ness. So, always a good time, always something to look forward to for yours truly. So, look forward to that again. Adding some more items. And that's pretty much going to be it for now. I know Lids is doing their ultimate hat collector. And I know I think the voting starts for that this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And I know Resurrection is put his hat in the ring for it, so good luck to him. He put out his video for his submittal to the Lids Ultimate Hat Collector. And it was a wonderful video, very well done, and I wish him all the best of luck. I myself did not get involved in it. As I told Rez in the live last week, the hats, I just showed 4 more. I mean, I am a collector. I'm someone who loves hats, but I did the jersey collector because that's really that's my main passion. That's my main love with collecting. I mean, hats I love to get. A lot of times I'll get a hat to kind of, as we know, combo wombo it with a jersey. So the hat's almost like an addition for the jersey, right? So that's why I don't think I would do the hat collector, because if I had to pick the two, it's always going to be jersey number one. And honestly, doing that, it was tough. It was really tough because, I know I have this channel and I have many great followers of it, and I thank you all so much for the support. And I do. I was very humbled to have won that, Ultimate Jersey Collector Challenge for lids. And again, it's because of your voting, and I can't thank you all enough for that, as I've said many a time. But it's tough. Because it's like I have to promote myself in these things, and for me, it's always going to be about the jersey and the hat. That's what I want to promote. Me, sometimes you have to promote yourself, and I get that, but for me, I'm the collector. I'm just showing what I get. It's not so much about me, it's about the items. It's about the jerseys, it's about the hats. Those to me are the stars of the show. I'm just this crazy guy, Philadelphia sports fan that makes these videos, that has to deal with so many damn losing playoffs all the damn time. But so for me to kind of promote myself, and I had to for that challenge, it was a tough thing. It's just, I did it, and I was, I'm glad people enjoyed it. But I honestly, even though I won it, I don't want to put myself on a pedestal. I don't want to be a Mount Rushmore. This is whatever. People have put me there, and that they've thrown the GOAT name around it. That's fine, and it's a humbling thing for me. But I never really look at myself like that. Honestly, I'm happy to do what I do, and I'm happy to have what I have. It comes with so many years of collecting and just so much that's gone into it. That's what I'm pleased with. I will never say, even though, I was awarded that with lids, I would never say my collection is the best, that I have the greatest collection ever, that I'm this or that, right? I'm happy to bring you, the viewer, what I have. This is what I have. This is what I love to do. And I do these videos on YouTube, and I bring this stuff to you, the viewer, because this is what I have the passion for. Whether it's the jerseys, the hats, the Philadelphia sports, it's what I have the passion for, so I bring that to you, right? I'm not trying to promote myself. I'm just talking to you about my passion, right? And I know it's kind of funny to kind of say that, but that's always kind of how I feel about it, right? I never really want to put myself up on this, oh, look at me kind of thing, And I never really wanted it to be like that, I kind of had to do something along those lines for that contest. But ultimately, I'm just a humble collector, this is what I love to do. And my passion comes out, I know that. And sometimes it gets me in trouble, just for having passion and stuff. But I what's the old Popeye line, right? I am who I am, and that's what it is. I'm a humble person. I don't really want to put myself up here, So for getting in another one of those contests like the Ultimate Hat Collector, I just don't think I would do it. It's just not really something I think for me. I know there's a lot of people who, the hats, that's their life. They go so crazy with the hats. They create hats. They do all that. It is really their main passion. And it's like those are the guys and gals who I'd like to see get in those competitions. It's for them, and even Rez. I mean, Rez. I believe that he should have been one in that competition. Because of everything that he said in his video about all the streetwear hats, and that type of stuff. All that has a lot of meaning for him and all, right? For me, I just, my meaning for hats, and I wear them all the time, but my meaning for them is to put them with the jerseys. I try to, this is what I do with the hats, right? So for me, it would still be more jersey related than hats. So I just don't think that competition is something that I would feel right doing, even though I have goodness knows how many hats in the collection, but I still don't see myself as a hat collector. I see myself more as a jersey collector that gets the hats to go with the jerseys. And it's not to say other people don't. There's probably other people in that competition that do something similar. I know Rez puts hats with jerseys and whatever, but Rez also has that love for hats. That just he can convey that. You just have to watch his video. You'll see that, right? He has hat sleeves. I don't have hat sleeves. I still have to get more of those damn things, those stackable containers from Target to put them in. I mean, like Hazor when he came and visited from Cali for that Eagles-Niners game. He's a hat guy. I mean, he had to pick out the ones he wanted to wear. He was very meticulous about his hats. What he was looking for here had to be a special kind of thing, hat-wise. So he I would consider be more. That's his love, And he's got jerseys and he loves his teams. But I mean, I look at him as that's a hat guy. That's a guy who, he should be in these competitions, right? Where me, I have them and I love them and God knows I look for them like crazy. Even had Slim find me one in Florida, but they're to go with the jerseys. So in that regard, I'm still saying, the jersey's still kind of that's what's in front. For me. But I love hats. I wear them, as we know. I'm not wearing one right now, but I do wear them when I go out. Anyhow, I've rambled on here a very long time, and I really didn't want this. I didn't really mean for this video to be this long. I thought it'd be kind of short and sweet. Show the hats, and once you start, that kind of happens. So. Anyhow, I'm gonna stop for real now. But good luck to you, Rez, on the Ultimate Hat Collector challenge. I think the voting, like I said, I think it starts this weekend, and they'll narrow it down to whoever is the finalist for that. Rez, good luck to you. You did a wonderful submission on here on YouTube, and good luck to you. Have fun with it. I can tell you had fun with it, and as I told you in that live last week, that's really all you can do. Just have fun with it, and I can tell you did that. So you did a great job. And good luck to you, and I hope you become a finalist. I really do. So at any rate, that's going to do it for me for now, but I will be back soon with some other content, as we know. There's plenty of things on the plate. I just have to get to it. So we'll take it from there. But thanks to all for watching this marathon video of stuff, and I will see you all again soon here on the channel. Thanks to support the channel. Make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the bell icon so you're notified to all future content from yours truly. And that's going to do it for me for now. For real. Finally, I know, right? Oh, my God. All right. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.